So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. Hello and welcome to the podcast show. My name's Dan Latto. Hope you're well today. How are you doing? 14th of November. Not long to Christmas, folks. Well, 6 weeks-ish? More or less 6 weeks tomorrow, isn't it? And in the meantime, we're planning for 2025. And I know that's kind of like, well, it's at least 6 weeks away, Dan, but, what are you doing? But we're looking at what is the plan for us every single month for next year so that we can actually get ahead of the game with all of our content. Because one of the things we've really realised in 2024 is just that the sheer amount of content that you have to create is significant if you want to actually beat your competitors. Now, obviously, our industry is slightly different than everybody else's industry because our industry is full of people who create live streams and content and all of that kind of thing. But one of the things I've noticed is that they're not really that consistent in doing it. And because they're not that consistent in doing it, we've actually been stealing some of their business because we're out there and we're in front of people all the time. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 short videos going out. We've got live streams going out every day. We've got emails going out once or twice every single week and people responding to those. And we've got more people going into the email list so that we can email more people and so on. And so all of this stuff is all meaning that we can make more offers to people. And when we make more offers to people, as long as there's enough people watching our content, listening to our podcast, reading our emails, we can make more sales. And if you're not doing that in your business right now, you're really missing out. And other people are stealing your customers, God damn it. And it's nothing worse than losing a customer to find somebody else has got them, right? And so we need to put a stop for that. If this is you and you're going through that right now, I'm going to run through some of the things that you can do in your business. Like we know why we should be doing content marketing. Everybody knows we should be doing more. But how does it actually improve your ability to close more people? And that's what we're going to talk about in this session. So buckle in, folks. So first up, pretty obvious to me, the amount of content that you produce should be driving more website traffic back to your website. It should be. And we see people and they're putting content out and it's a picture of the cat and the dog. We put a picture of our dog up yesterday and that's fine. But that actually doesn't drive traffic back to your website. It's got to be, what are the benefits to the business? What's your special USP, unique selling point in your business? You've got to offer some kind of value. And just putting pictures of horses and cats and dogs and your holiday snaps out online generally isn't going to close any business unless your business is going on holiday, which it could be. You might be a travel agent. But you've got to put relevant content out there. And when you start putting relevant content out there, this can be how-to information, it can be bits of advice, it can be bits of motivation, it could be stuff that you've learned, it could be things about how your business works, about how your products work, how your services work, shortcuts to making your product work even better, and ways to get discounts, all sorts of different ways of doing it. And the whole point of putting content out there, which should be a combination of audio for the ears, visual for the eyes, and reading for the brain, and images and long form text, all of that's purpose should be really to drive traffic back to the website, because it's on your website generally, that's where the conversion usually takes place. Now, obviously, that's not quite true, because the conversion actually takes place inside of somebody's head. No conversions take place on a website. Somebody has to go, do you know what? That's really good. I want one of those. I'm going to buy it. And that process happens inside the head. But the actual physical conversion process happens on a website. You go to someone's website, you put something in a basket and you buy it. Or you go to someone's website, you click the button that says book a strategy call, which you should be clicking the button down below and going to book a strategy call. That's a conversion right there. All conversions don't have to be a financial conversion. Sometimes it is just booking a strategy call to work out how can we help this person? What marketing have they got? What can we help them with? What help do they think they need versus what help do we think they need? Often are two very different things. So we have to work through that with them. But the conversion takes place first of all in the brain, and then it takes place on your website. And obviously when you've got someone on a website, then they might look around your website and see what else you've got to be able to sell them and how else you can help them and so on. So your content marketing, really, its purpose should be a couple of things. One is obviously building trust. Massive. Huge. You think that's huge in 2024? Just wait until we get to 2025 where people don't believe anything. People don't believe anything now. They definitely don't believe politicians, which, God, do you remember like 30 years ago we used to never hear about politicians? And when someone used to say something wrong, they'd just resign. Oh my God, now you can lie through the back teeth and it's totally fine, it seems. Trust is definitely a requirement in 2025 if you want to sell more stuff. So trust is definitely something that a reason as to why we're creating more content, but also driving traffic back to your website is another reason as well. So the next one then is that it boosts brand awareness. Just typical, isn't it? We go live, we get a phone call, there we go. So one of the reasons why you should be increasing your content marketing is, look, if people don't know that you exist, you don't exist. They can't buy something from you if they don't think you exist. And if someone saw you last week and thought, you know what, I'm going to buy what they've got, and they forgot about it, which happens all the time, by the way, or something happens, they forget about it, and they've not seen any content from you this week, they're not thinking about you. They're going to go, oh, I need to go buy such and such, and they'll just go on Amazon and they'll buy it. Like, you've got to make it easy for people to actually remember who you are, that you actually exist, and so on. And if you're not doing that, people forget very, very quickly. It used to be we got 3,000 advertising messages. How often are we on Facebook and LinkedIn and social media? Like all the time. How many advertising messages do you think we get today? 5 to 10,000 a day? Like, it's ridiculous. It's so many. We don't even see the advertising anymore, which is why advertising has to really stand out. Interestingly, a couple of pieces of advertising that do stand out. Marks and Spencer's. John Lewis Christmas adverts. It's almost like people are waiting for them to come out and they get really excited, and then also people get very upset because usually it's a mixed race family, and people get very upset about that in UK, don't they? Just weirdly, I don't know why that is, but it's just a thing. But people are waiting for the John Lewis advert, waiting for the Marks and Spencer's advert, and then there's usually a big thing about Colin the Caterpillar from Marks and Spencer's because Aldi or Lidl have stolen it, and it's a big thing. And I'm pretty sure they're just in bed with each other going, yeah, what can we do to wind each other up this time that will get us in the press? But you've got to do something different to stand out in front of your customers. And if you're not going live, if you're not putting content out on social media in any way, shape or form, you've got no brand awareness. Like, it's minimal. And we, in the olden days, we used to have what we'd call footfall, foot traffic and so on. And it's like foot traffic these days is the equivalent of Facebook marketing. That's the equivalent. So you've got to find a way of driving traffic past your store. And I don't mean your physical store, I mean your website. Which kind of brings us back to point number one, doesn't it? Driving website traffic. You've got to boost brand awareness and drive that footfall, that website online traffic back to the website. And then the other reason why you want to be producing more content is that it will improve your conversion rate. And one of the reasons why it improves the conversion rate is that we're moving into a time now, increasingly so in fact, I should say we're moving back to a time where people buy from people. It used to be like that in the 60s and 70s before massive brands came in. You'd walk down the high street and you'd know all these different people and so on, and you'd know them by name and they'd know your kids' names, and you go into a shop and you buy it and it's personal branding. And it's gone away from that in the 80s, 90s and noughties into this kind of brand awareness and brands, M&S and Lewis's that we spoke about. And all those guys are going bust right now. I noticed Homebase were going bust this week. We're going into administration. And it's changed. It's changed for more interpersonal branding where people have to build trust because people buy from people. And if you're not putting yourself out there and letting people know who you are and your personality, you're going to struggle as well. Because to improve the conversion rate, you've got to build trust. You've got to build authenticity. One of the greatest things that I get quite often is when people go, when they meet me, they go, oh, you're just like you are on your live stream, or you're like that when you speak on stage. I'm no different in person than I am here. I probably swear more in person than I do on here. I try and behave on here and often fail. But people get to know you. That improves conversion rates, building trust, building authenticity. Why do you think we live stream so much? Because when we get somebody onto a strategy call, they already know who I am and how I'm going to treat them, and my crappy jokes and my lispy thing and how I sound and how I look and my personality. They already know it. It's not like I'm going to turn them off by my personality, because they already know what they're getting because I've live streamed them, they've seen my videos and spoken to me, or they've met me and so on. And so all of this works really well at improving your conversion rates. And then just finally here, why you should be increasing your content marketing right now is that it can save you a huge amount of time if you outsource it. Now, obviously, I own a content marketing agency. Why do you think we go live streaming all the time? But when we look at our clients, the amount of sheer content that they have going out, huge amount of content. One of our clients has done, I was going to say 880,000 views this year, but that was 2 weeks ago, right? It's probably 950,000, maybe even 1 million views on his content just in this last year. It's a huge amount of views. But the amount of editing that we have to do to get him those views is significant. And, on other clients, the amount of emails that we send out, the amount of landing pages that we create, the amount of images that we have to create, the amount of video editing is significant. And then testing it all works, putting it all together, because we've got the experience in-house and we know how to use it with ActiveCampaign, and we know how to create marketing funnels, we know how to make every single part of that jigsaw puzzle just go together really nicely. Because we understand all that, it's much easier for us to do it. And it's not just much easier for us to do it, it's also more fluid. The thing's going to work first time or second time rather than not working at all if a business owner does it, because the business owner really doesn't know what they're doing. And so they come to us, they pay us not a huge amount of money, obviously we have to charge, but not a huge amount of money for the return that they actually get. And it does all these things. It drives more traffic, it boosts brand awareness, it helps them improve conversion rates. And if that's you and that's where you're at right now, then you should really be looking at booking in one of those strategy calls, because 2025, folks, is going to be wild. It's going to be wild. We've already got Labour in, we've got Trump coming in early next year in February, I think it is. The world is already ruined. Who knows where we're going to be? And you've got to get your message out there to as many people as possible to make it easier to close as many sales as possible. So if that's you, click the link down below and let's go and have a chat. Other than that, hope you enjoyed today's session and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.